The next segment is viewer questions, if you're ready for them.
We're ready.
Okay, so we got some coming in late, and I added a few, but one had to deal with surveillance of President Trump. So people are talking about, you know, was he under surveillance? Was he wiretapped by Obama? Did Susan Rice break the law? What do you think we're going to hear on Trump and surveillance? Boy, besides from him.
Well, we're going to hear the pushback from Trump claiming he was surveilled, and then we're going to, you know, get to maybe the reality of the matter, which may be that there were conversations of others who were under surveillance that brought in the Trump people on the transition. I mean, there's going to be a lot of pushing back and forth on this. Susan Rice, they're trying to get in the mix. Trump claimed that she had committed some crimes but offered no explanation. She apparently had asked for the unmasking of who was mentioned in some of these intercepts. It's very complicated. It's going to take, you have two things happening. It's at warp speed with Twitter and social media, and then it's at investigative speed with the FBI and with Congress. So,
which usually isn't quite as fast, but does seem to be moving quickly. What you're going to have is two tracks of news. You're going to have, on the one hand, the conservative media that focuses on Susan Rice and what was going on in the Obama administration, what information they collected, and then you're going to have the other, which is primarily the mainstream media, explaining what the investigation is doing and what it's turning up. So you just sort of have to keep those two tracks together and figuring out what's going on with each. And Trump's going to focus on the one with Susan Rice.
Mm-hmm.
But it's worth noting Dan's loser of the week, Devin Nunes, was outside of the Trump administration was maybe the foremost proponent or person out there making the argument that the Obama administration had been handling the wiretapping or handling surveillance improperly. And, you know, his efforts to do that ended up forcing him off the main committee. So you just lost one of the major voices on the Republican side to sort of advance that argument in the public space.
But you know, it's going to be like the election. If what you're reading is Breitbart and watching Sean Hannity and reading the Washington Times, you're going to get one set of news. And if you are reading the New York Times, Washington Post, and following along with the investigation, you're going to get a completely different picture as to what's going on.
And also, you know, the Senate was adequately able to investigate Watergate back in the 1970s. It really, you know, whether Congress is up to this is of some question, just because of the politicization. And let's face it, a lot of these characters just are not up to some of the folks who were back in the 1970s. They just don't have the qualifications or the temperament to do this. They haven't shown that yet. So it's going to come out. It's going to take time. It's not going to be at warp speed, internet speed. It's going to take time, and it's going to take months.